I know somebody right now is sitting up here thinking to themselves, man, today was hard. Man, yesterday was harder. Tomorrow gonna probably be the same thing. Somebody in here right now think that they're broken. But broken means you can be fixed. Somebody in here thinks that they're down. But down means you can get up. Somebody in here right now thinks that they don't have all the answers and there's no way out. But if there's no way out, then that means that everything you need must be within your reach. You see, perspective changes how you view life. And if you simply take the time to respect the perspective, well, everything can be different. I know that these are things easy for someone to say when you feel like no one's listening, but somebody is. I'm listening. Family members are listening. Friends are listening. And I know that these times are not easy, but there are things you can do to make a decision that we can live with. You can dial 3 numbers, 988, just to get the conversation going. And if that's not enough, and it's so dire that you really need it, then dial 911. But either way it go, get help. Make a decision you can live with. Make a decision that lets the people who love you most be able to still see your smile and still hear your voice. So before you make a decision we have to live with, make one you can live with and get help. Now let's talk football. Fight me. What's going on, Prime Nation? Yes, it's been waited. I've been trying so hard to get on here and talk about this damn draft. I'm sure that I'm going to make somebody upset. I'm sure that it's going to happen. I'm going to make somebody upset because it's sports. And it's what we do. And somebody's going to say, Luke, you're negative. Somebody's going to say, Luke, you're wrong. Somebody's going to say, Luke, something. But the one thing you should say is, Luke, is you're objective. That's what you should say. You should say. I have some gripes. I'm going to talk about those. I have some things that I'm excited for. I'll talk about those. And I'll also be discussing a host of other things around this draft and everything. So buckle up, people. We can have a little bit of fun. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get this damn thing out because I want everybody to be able to get in. So I'm gonna break down what my views is, and then I'll leave it to you good people to chime in and let me know what you think. First things first, let me get this out the way before I let people know who in the building with me. Let me get this out the way because somebody's gonna swear up and down I didn't do this. But I want to make sure I'm clear about this. My prediction was that the Lions would go offensive line, and I was wrong. They actually didn't go offensive line. I thought that they would go offensive line or trade out. I thought their first option was to trade out. Based on all the reports and things like that, it didn't go that way. And I thought that, they would trade out and take more picks. They traded up. But we'll be talking about that and more. So, yeah, I was wrong on that one. But it ain't going to be the first time I've ever been wrong. And again, I don't say things necessarily to just be right, but to point out things that I see in advance. And again, those are all the different things that, people are going to look at, but it has explanations. So that's not the point. So let me get myself together, good people. I'm going to put this link out there. And then when people come in, as they come in, what I'll do is, matter of fact, let me just get it out the way because I know I'm gonna piss some people off first. So before I even go on this road, let me just see who in the building with me, and shout my people out. Shout my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people out. We got BD Buster in the building. We got my man Giovanni Lyons in the building the second. We got my man Noel in the building. He said, hey, ooh, we've been waiting on this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 100%. Then we got my man's Dirty Glove Williams. Yeah, Patty Luke gonna come out today. He definitely, I'm about to upset some people. Y'all not gonna like it, and I don't care. Because the reality is somebody needs to be objective. There's some things that I'm just not with. Black Spirit is in the building. What's going on, brother? We got Detroit Fan Report. What up, dude? My man Looney Tune is in the building. We got Lion Fan Express. Makai Holt is in the building. Bucky says, I sure hope Drake is listening to this part of the stream. Uh-oh. That Drake beef thing is interesting. We got Whiskey Neat in the building. We got Perry Ball in the building. Chrome is in the building. We got Waldorf Lion in the building. We got Billy Venable in the building. John Jones is in the building. Dr. Detroit is in the building. D-Map Zoon is in the building. One Funky Lions fan in the building. And we have Nemesis Breaks in the building. Make sure I ain't miss nobody. Chris Cashball in the building. All right, here we go. The draft is over. Let me just say to the fans, I knew that we were going to show up. I knew that we were going to show up and support our team, support the city. I didn't know it was going to be to the tune of 700 and like some thousand people. No. And again, that's just who came into the event. That's not who was on the outside surrounding area. That's not all the people that was downtown. That's just who came into there. So kudos to you for that. Kudos to you for shutting that down. Beautiful thing. It was a wonderful thing to see. I was excited. I was truly excited to see that. And I'm telling you, you should be excited for what the city did. Somebody's going to ask me, what are my draft grades? I'm getting right into it. I've said this years ago. I don't give drafts grades until the third year. I stopped giving them grades because guess what? They truly need to play. And if you think about grades, in most cases, they have to be earned. And since how they haven't took a snap in the NFL, they ain't earned no grade. Sorry. Well, Luke, why are you giving them 3 years for the draft grade? Because at least in 3 years, there's no excuses. You can't tell me, oh, they're a rookie. Because that's what they're going to say for the first year, they're a rookie. The second year, you're going to say, oh, man, they just getting their feet wet. It takes 3 years. And, well, okay, so I'm just going to concede to the third. Now, if I have to give a grade, because people are going to ask, well, we should give it a grade anyway. It's a C. Everybody get a C. The whole draft is a C. And that's me being generous, to be honest with you. Because we got to talk about some stuff. And y'all not going to like it. Y'all not. And it's not that I'm want to be negative or hate on it or anything like that. But I'm going to just break it down to you what I feel about each pick. And so with that being said, let's get into this. The first pick, Terrion Arnold. I watched his 2022 film and the 23. And I walked away like, oh, man, this guy's really sticky. This guy is like always on their hip. Still has a little trouble with the double moves. Okay, all right. But I started noticing something that really stood out to me. And in a lot of the plays that he made, there was pressure coming from the front seven. I mean, like mad pressure. And he took advantage of it. So good for him, right? But it was the front seven that created those plays, right? And then I was like, okay, that's cool. Then I started noticing something else. He grabs a whole lot. And I am amazed that he was not called for more pass interferences. I am 100% shocked that he's not called for it. And I don't know how in the hell he didn't get called for it. But like I always tell you, in the NFL, on the Lions, they will call it. So that was my view. I saw a guy who really did not have a lot of bad tape. I didn't see a lot of bad plays. I saw a few small flaws, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can coach that out. I did not like that we traded a third-round pick to move up to get him. Because this, to me, now creates a whole situation where now we have to ask ourselves the question: was Terrion Arnold Was he a better player, like miles ahead of Wiggins? Was he miles ahead of Kool-Aid? Was he miles ahead of Cooper DeJohn? Was he miles ahead of these people? If your answer is yes, great. I don't see that, especially with Wiggins. I don't see that. And I'm just really making the point that, you know, for me, I'm not seeing the guy that is miles ahead. So giving up that third round pick in this year's draft when we still have certain things to address, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Our second pick, Enes Rexstraw. I liked him. If you look at my video before the draft, I talked about that guy. I made a post all throughout the draft before that showing that, hey, I had a lot of love for that guy. What's going on, Tim Hutchinson? Free 313, what up, though? I see you had a house. See you, Crimson Shadow. You know, I seen that. What's going on, John Capital, the bad guy? What's up, though? I see that, right? I wanted that guy. I thought that he looked like the kind of players that we generally want, that they talk about, the grit, the toughness, the want to tackle. He had all those things. And it brought me to my point. Do I care if they took two cornerbacks? Nope. No, I don't. No, not particularly. Do I care that they did it back to back? No, nope, not particularly. Do I now have to look at what we did in the second round and ask questions? Yep. Yes, I do. Why? Because it's always going to come down to who we could have had. That's what it is. That's the name of the game, people. When the draft happened, it's always who you took and who you could have had. And it's one thing about Brad Holmes that has always been consistent with him and has always stood out with him, and that is Brad Holmes has always been a person who wants to trade up. That's what he likes. He talked about this in one of his, I think it was the day 3 press conference after the third day of the draft. He talked about how he had to calm himself down and not move up. But I remember his first draft. If we didn't have Dorsey there to slow him down, he would have traded up in that draft. And I'm just thinking to myself, all right, cool. Then we go and take our next pick, right? Because I'm trying to make it make sense, right? We go and take our next pick. After we get the Rexstraw, we waiting all the way. Well, technically, we was supposed to be picking until like the 5th, 6th, and 7th round, right? And then I look up and they're like, oh, the Detroit Lions have made a trade. And I'm like, all right, cool. We made a trade, right? And what do we trade? And I'm waiting for them to tell me because I'm already upset that we gave that third round pickup. And I already knew that it had to be a future pick, but it doesn't matter how far future it was. And then I look up and they say, oh, the Lions trade a 2025 third round pick to move up to the 4th round. And I'm like, all right, bet. And I'm sitting up there and I'm looking at some names. I'm like, oh, man, Javon Solomon, the NCAA sack leader for 2 years, is still on the board. All right, cool. And again, this ain't about me being upset that we didn't get who I wanted. This is just me saying I'm looking at where our weaknesses are and what our division is doing and saying how we address it. But okay, cool. And what do? They select offensive tackle Giovanni Manu out of British Columbia University. And I'm like, who? Like, picture the scene from Guardians of the Galaxy when he was like, Star-Lord, man. Who? I was like, who? Who the hell is Giovanni Manu? Like, who is this guy? Right? So the first thing I do was I run to YouTube because I can't find an ounce of film. And I went to YouTube and I found some stuff. Great. Now, mind you, I'm at the draft. So I'm trying to find this on the fly. So I'm sitting up there, I'm watching it, and it's like these are his like highlights. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what the highlights show. And I saw it and I went, okay. Now I'm gonna give you my true opinion on him. Now, This is bullshit. And I'm telling you this from a standpoint that nobody else wants to talk about. I don't care if he was 7 feet tall, 475 pounds, and ran a 4.7. I can care less. I can care less. That pick blows my mind. It blows my mind. But okay, cool. This is what y'all want? Fine. Because this started lending itself to a bigger picture for me. So I said, you know what? We got more picks. Fine. But at this point, I'm still at the draft. I got my kids with me. I can't react the way I want to because I'm always trying to model myself in a way so that my children understand that this is how you model yourself. And then we come back and we get another trade. And I went, oh, what we give up this time? We gave up a 4th round pick in 2025. The hell are we doing that for? Okay, well, you know what? Don't worry about it. Because there's still some people on the board that can really help us. So this don't make no difference. Cool. Who we taking? We take running back / safety, Sane Vaki. And honestly, I was happy with it. I was like, good. Because I can see his role on the team. I can see his impact on the team. I can see how he can help the team. Just as I can see with Terrion Arnold and I can see with Rexraw. Like, I can see the impact of him. Now, mind you, with Giovanni Manu, we're going to get back to it, but just know I can see Vaki's impact. There were plays that we call fakes on where we use Jalen Reeves-Maybin. This guy got more wiggle in his ass. He's been able to do a little bit of receiver, a little bit of running back. He could play safety. I saw where he was hitting people. I saw where he was running the ball. I was like, okay, I can get with this. This makes sense. I saw him return some kicks on like kick and punt return. So it made sense. Cool. I do question if he would have failed or not, but who knows? Right? Who knows? So at this point, I'm just like, all right, cool. We did that. All right, cool. It's all good. It's all right. We need that kind of stuff. All right, cool. And there's still some names on the board. Still some names on the board. And then I look up, and the Lions again come in with a pick. Oh, damn. All right, what we do now? What we do? They trade up. Okay, what we do? We take defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo. And I'm like, okay. All right. And I remember, I forget what subscriber told me about him. And I watched like 4 games and I was like, yeah. And the first thing that came to mind of me was Deshaun Hand. Literally Deshaun Hand. Deshaun Hand was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, minus the fact that he gets injured all the time. I was like, all right, cool. Maybe he might end up being something. Maybe he played DN. He might be something, but whatever. Cool. All right. Then the Lions make another pick. Guard Christian Mahogany. And honestly, I've heard of him many times and stuff. And, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. And I looked at it and I was like, all right. And I watched the little bit of tape I can see. And Sione, thank you. Thank you, Looney Tune. Sione Vaki. All right. But I watched a little tape on my man, you know, and on my man Mahogany, and I'm like, all right. I saw plays where he whiffed on some tackles in the run blocking and on the pass blocking. I saw where he overextended himself, and I was like, okay, that could be a problem. But I went, okay. And so now at this point, the draft ends. And now I know what our draft class is, and I'm pissed. And the reason I'm pissed is not because of what we did not get in terms of players that, like, oh, you want to just play? No. It wasn't because of that. It was because I looked at our division and I said, okay, well, let's review. The new quarterback for the Bears is now Caleb Williams. And I know a lot of people think he's going to be a bust, and I hope he is for our sake. But okay, cool. But I know Caleb Williams is mobile. Fine. Then I look up and I see JJ McCarthy, who I'm pretty sure gonna be a bust, but he mobile, fine. And I know they got Jordan Love, and he's mobile. And you expect this team to come into it with this same defense, essentially, when I watch these same linebackers be unable to track down and attack Brock Purdy. And all the quarterbacks in our division are faster than Brock Purdy. How, Sway? You didn't get a linebacker. So I said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see if they do it undrafted. And they went out and they got my man Steele from Ohio State. He probably won't make the team, but I'm hoping something comes of it because, like, yo, we needed a linebacker. All right, cool. But then it dawned on me. Are we really gonna go into the season with Matthew Battis, Marcus Davenport as our pass rush? And yes, I didn't say James Houston because for some reason they are not playing him. I don't understand it. They're not giving him a full-time role. And so now I'm sitting here trying to figure out, all right, well, who's going to be the running mate to Aiden Hutchinson? Because he by himself ain't it. Greek yogurt, remember? You need to give him some help. And I'm sitting here looking at this draft, and I'm like, okay, they really got faith in these other guys. All right, fine. We're going to see what happens. But I watched teams like the Bears take people that I was like, yo, like Austin Booker, who would have fit us like a glove. And then I watched our general manager come out and say all the same stuff he always say every year. These were the highest rated guys on our board. This same old PRBS that they repeat every year. And I started to make a whole video showing him repeat the same thing every year. You know, we were surprised that he was there. We were surprised that he was there. It's the same spiel. Nobody's talking about it, but it happened. And I thought listening more to the general manager talk about how they compared. So I said, oh, he doing a comparison? I'm going to do a comparison. I'll do a floor and ceiling comparison for each draft pick. And that brings me to this point. Now, he said that they didn't think that Terrion was going to be there. And that the guy that they wanted before Terrion had came off the board. All right, cool. Here's my honest review after watching a whole lot of tape on this brother. His ceiling is Patrick Surtain II. That's his ceiling. I can see it step for step. I can see a lot of the mannerisms all there. His floor comparisons for me, which even I'm surprised I'm saying this because it still was something that I'm like, hey, you can't say it was a bad signing. His floor at worst, his floor is like Ladarius Sneed. So this to me is a really good player. I didn't see too many flaws in this game. I was like, all right, bet. I like it. Cool. I like it. Then I went to Enos Rexstraw. And I was like, okay. Looked at a bunch of tape on him and everything. And his ceiling was Darius Slay. The difference between him and Darius Slay was when Darius Slay tackled you, you didn't really come down. He got a little bit more aggression in his tackling. But I said, okay. And his floor for my comparisons, which again, still not a bad player, but it was Asante Samuel Jr. I saw a guy who had a neck for the ball and wanted the ball. Okay, cool. Then I get to this man, Giovanni Manu. And I had no comparisons. None. His floor is probably hell. Because if this don't pan out and you traded future capital away, to which for you is like, oh, it's only just the third. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. I had no comparisons for him. Because guess what? There were things about his tape that I watched, and the first thing that popped off was, oh, British Columbia. Huh. He's the first one. Okay, cool. So I tried to go and look and see, like, did any of the people from the schools that he played went to the CFL? No. No. So they didn't make their own league neither, huh? Okay, cool. I started digging further. Who were some of the good players he went against? Couldn't find them. I mean, this is by Canada standards. Couldn't find them. I said, all right, cool. Then our general manager come out and say, hey, this is another one of those Broderick Martin moments. And you traded up for him again? See, I dragged him for the Broderick Martin thing. Because I'm like, you traded up for a dude who can't get on the field, and we don't got rid of a whole D tackle, and he still can't get on the field? We got rid of a whole D tackle, and he still can't get on the field. Like, how? Okay, cool. And I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, if one of our linemen go down, can he come in and do it? So I went back and watched what I could find on him again, which I'm going to show you. Right? I'm going to show you what I was able to find. But when I watched it, I started seeing things that made me like scratch my head. Because I saw him doing things that I'm like, okay, cool. Right? Like, cool. And then I remember what Brad Holmes says. He said, hey, we were trying to get him in for a visit, and his dance card was full. Well, let it be freaking full. Because I'm not convinced that he wouldn't have made it to the 6th or 7th round. I'm not. And if somebody else wanted to take him for a project, by all means, damn it, do it. But if you trade up in the 4th round with the amount, you know what? Let me just try to show you for preference purposes. Okay, let me just show you for preference purposes. All right. Now, people don't understand this, but I'm going to show you for the benefit of those who don't believe. All right. I am not counting any player taken before the Lions pick. All right. Any player, because obviously that meant they was going to be gone. But who was taken after, we will review. Okay. We will review who was taken after. And again, I'm not mad. I'm merely just telling you I had questions. All right. I had questions. So let's take a look, see. All right. And again, this is not about who we could have had and could not have had. But you took this guy who you admit is a project player. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, we really could use a safety. And then Jaden Hicks goes to Kansas City. Okay. Okay. You were so enamored with a running back. Braylon Allen wasn't good enough. Doesn't even matter. Right? And I look at who went in the other rounds, and I'm just saying to myself, all right, so how are we going to play this? And I'm looking. And then the Bears took Austin Booker. And I'm like, so Austin Booker was still on the, okay, all right, it don't matter. We needed a pass rush. It's still, but my man Solomon, a.k.a. Javon Solomon, he ain't gone, right? He ain't went nowhere. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm looking, and he don't go nowhere. I wanted Brandon Jackson. I wanted Jeremiah Trotter. Yes, I wanted those players. I talked about them. They fit what we do. I thought about it, but you're not the coach, Luke. You're not the GM. You don't know. That's fine. We're going to see how I age. I wanted Muhammad Kamara. These are all players who's on the board when you trade up to the 4th round who can help us this year. That's not a project player. These are not players that need to be projects, that need to be built up. And then, finally, Javon Solomon comes off the board to Buffalo. I say, all right, cool. No biggie, right? No biggie. And then I go and look at this. Let's take a look. First of all, shout out to this brother. What is his name? Stevenson Bone. Please go subscribe to his channel because I'm using his video because it's all I could find. It really was. I couldn't find anything else. Again, keep in mind, he was in Canada, right? Now, again, we're just going to look at this. None of these stats mean anything to me. Okay? Because this brother was going up against me, you, and she. What we gonna do, baby? This is what he was doing. Okay? And I'm just saying to myself, all right, cool. And so the first thing that people saw when they went and looked at this same tape was this right here. Oh, look, man, look, he pancaked him. Now watch this. Let me take this down because I need to go to the chat to see this. Watch this. Can somebody tell me who's the guy he pancaked? Trust me, I already know what y'all gonna say. You don't interview these guys. I didn't interview Jeff Okudah, and I was right about him. I was right about a lot of players I never interviewed. I could just simply see how they play. And everybody was screaming, we need to go get Chase Young. And I told people, he's not what you think he is. He's a generational talent. No, he's not. And before people start going, oh, this person didn't even get drafted. Because people love to go all the way back. Which I'm down for it. Go back. I don't have to interview them to know what it is. Oh, and it wasn't that I didn't want Hutch. It was that I wanted to get the most athletic player in Kyle Hamilton and go and get my pass rusher later. But keep in mind, Kyle Hamilton has made like all pro. So just putting it out there. He looks pretty damn good. He's exactly as I thought he would be. Not my point. Who is the guy that Giovanni Manu put on the ground? Somebody tell me. Who is that guy? Tell me. Who's the guy he put on the ground? Because I certainly don't know. Look at these people. I'm not being funny. The only thing I kept doing when watching this, okay, was I was looking at footwork, hand placement, like this right here. And again, please don't come in here telling me he ran the 4.9. I can care less. Please don't tell me he's 6'8". I can care less. I'm looking at footwork. I seen plays where he crossed his feet. Yeah, but look how he's doing them though, Luke. He's doing them dirty. I feel you. I hear you loud and clear. Who are these people he's going against? He's a big guy. I totally get it. But this is 100% a pick drafted on potential. And every pick we took is based on potential. Make no mistake about it. But this is not what I want to see. Not when we got areas that need to be addressed. Because if we can't get home on these mobile quarterbacks in the division, and I haven't even begun to tell you about the other teams we gonna play. So yes, I wanted somebody who was going to be able to assist us as a whole in these areas. You want to trade up? Trade back into the goddamn second round and go get me somebody. I'm just saying, like, all this trading you doing, you giving up future picks and all. And guess what? Those things get weighed. If they had took Broderick Martin as a 6th round, 7th round pick, I can care less. He a project, fine. You traded up to the 3rd round for him. And so I'm thinking, all right, cool. But just look at it. You know you got to face Caleb Williams twice. That's 2 games. Jose McCarthy twice. That's 4. Jordan Love twice. That's 6. Now let's look at the other quarterbacks you're going to end up going against. Sam Howell is on the damn. Sam Howell or Geno Smith is going to be the quarterback on the Seahawks. More than likely going to be Sam Howell. He's mobile. You play Jacksonville, they got a mobile quarterback. Tennessee got a mobile quarterback. Tampa Bay got a mobile quarterback. You play Buffalo, got a mobile quarterback. San Francisco apparently got a mobile quarterback. We already seen what our linebackers did against him. And so, yes, I wanted more help opposite of Aiden Hutchinson and a linebacker. And we got this with a trade up. A guy who you can't tell me who he pancaked. He's going against people nobody cares. Number one rule. Look how short dog is. Dog is short. He taller. You can't be this damn high. Look, he's 6'8". Don't care. Drop your ass. Drop it. But when you crossing your legs as a lineman, you in trouble. Well, Luke, what if he end up being good? Okay, what if I hit the lottery? But I have question marks about this pick. And what made me more upset was the fact that I watched fans not be upset at all, and they love every pick. Every pick. They love every single pick. How? How? Every pick? You didn't have no concerns? None. Nobody's concerned? Every pick. They just fire. I'm watching people get draft grades. A minus, A minus, a few B's, B plus. How, Sway? How? You realize he essentially got one starter and a bunch of backups. They're going to start next year, Luke. What about this year? Luke, you saw what the Bears did. We needed cornerbacks. Fine. I ain't talking about the cornerbacks. I have no complaint with that. You still had an opportunity to contribute with your pass rush. And I'm praying to God that when people get cut and free agents and stuff like that, they go grab a pass rusher. Fine. But I'm only talking about the draft. And I believe the Bears got a really good pass rusher in Austin Booker. But fine. I don't give two flying nickels about the measurements. I'm telling you. And I understand it was a future pick, John Jones. Not going to get no beef out of me, bro. I totally get it. It was about, being able to look at the measurables. But you remember I can point out so many examples of people looking at the measurables and it didn't work out. And some of them are receivers, yes. Like I remember when Darius Hayward-Bay went nuts at the combine and he was nobody in the NFL. John Ross went nuts, nobody in the NFL. It's a lot of people. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I was happy that they didn't take a receiver because I would have lost it if they drafted a receiver in the first round. Because receivers come a dime a dozen. You should be able to find those easy. No problem. But how every fan loved every pick. My man Tim Hutchinson says it was a luxury pick for us this year, Luke. Maybe the one starter was needed this year. We needed more than that, though. Because next year, you're going to be out here trying to find a free agent or draft a linebacker. And this is the thing I love about Brad Holmes. Everything that I brought up, Brad Holmes talked about. They gave my man the Killian Hayes love. I mean, come on, man. And as weak as the edge class was, there was a bunch of them that we could use. One of them went to the Bears. You're going to know his name soon. I promise you. Austin Booker looks the part. Very fast, explosive. He looks the part. And I'm telling the truth. But to sit there and say every pick was good, this is cap. It's not possible. It's not. I walked away looking at this dude. This is what be his highlights of him in British Columbia. And I walked away unimpressed. He needs a lot of work. And that's the part that blows my mind. Well, at least we got Hank Fair. How long do you think we're going to keep him? Trust me, once we have success this year, and we will, he gone. He gone. Trust me. Make no mistake about it. He gone. We acting like he's going to be here for the next 4 years. That's not what we getting, people. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. All right? So it threw me off. The mahogany pick, I can at least follow that. We needed a guard. Okay, cool. Did we need a starting guard? No. And you took a backup guard late? Cool. And before somebody come in here, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Before somebody come in here and say, man, it's positional value. Since I've been saying this for years and nobody wanted to listen to me because, I'm not in the room. I'm not working for the Lions. I'm just a fan like everybody else. But I can, my eyes and observation of objectivity is not there. Let's let the guy that everybody is praising with glowing reviews tell you what his thoughts are on positional value.
Be a little greedy here, double dip, but intentional fashion decision today in the war room. Can you just tell us a little bit about what the meaning is here with your updated villain?
I mean, I don't think I've ever released kind of what villain really means. So, we'll still keep that in house. But, just the positional part, I got hit to positional value last year. So I just,
for him to say I got hip to positional value last year and that man spent 18 years on the Rams because this is not a thing. You remember when somebody named Luke said that and everybody was like, positional value, you don't do this. And I'm like, that's dumb. You take players who can help you win now. Remember I said that and I got jumped on by every person, just like when I was like, hey, if you're drafting last year, I said, if you're going to draft somebody that give you the most impact, it's running back. And I did multiple draft versus draft videos and I lost because I kept taking a running back first. And people was like, man, we not taking no running back, bro. And I'm like, but why not? Why not? Why not take a running back? And I was right. Because that gave you the most impact. That's why I'm not mad about the cornerback. We needed a cornerback. I'm a Lions fan, but I'm also a Bucs and Seahawks fan. And I was not happy about the Carlton Davis trade. Which, by the way, you gave him a third-round pick for too. Seriously. After you signed a Meek Robinson to a 2-year deal. Fine. And then I hear our head coach talk about he's not moving Brian Branch to safety. I went, oh, shit, okay. So I'm just saying. But I'm going to let Brad finish telling you about positional value. Since I'm crazy and positional value is a thing, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let me just let Brad cook as he tell you about his villain and his view on positional value. I'm going to shut the hell up and let him talk.
Be a little greedy here, double dip, but intentional fashion decision today in the war room. Can you just tell us a little bit about what the meaning is here with your updated villain?
I mean, I don't think I've ever released kind of what villain really means. So, we'll still keep that in house. But, just the positional part, I got hit to positional value last year. So I just, just a little spin on it.
And then,
just to be clear, that this hoodie's your idea, and then everybody else will warm in sort of solidarity.
Do you think this will be mine? Can't tell everything. No, I just we are looking for villains, and so when I got tipped off on what positional value was, I didn't know what that was. I didn't. So it was just like a new analytic. I didn't know what it was. So when you guys showed it, I was like, oh wow, that's. And then I thought about it, and I was like, positional value. I was like, so you pick a position, but not the player. And I was thinking, I was like, no, we're looking for football players. So we're looking for these guys. And so, but it doesn't matter. So it's more positional villain.
But you wanted the words with a line in between.
Yes.
Yes.
you never heard position value.
Huh?
You never heard position value.
No, I haven't. I mean, what I'm saying, I never heard of it. I understand the word, I understand the term, positional value. Like, oh, well, you want to get a quarterback over, whatever. Like, I understand that, but I didn't know it was like a thing where you would draft a position regardless of the player. And if you draft, because I think that's very easy. Just like what I talked about like free agency in the spring, it's like, yeah, you can win the headlines in March and April and all that stuff. Well, it's like, that's easy to draft. Whatever the premium positions are, was it quarterback and edge rusher and tackle and those positions? Say you draft only those positions, but they're not contributing to your football team. So did you win the draft? Did you win the draft because you drafted those positions, but they're not contributing to the football team? Or do you draft the best football players that are contributing to your football team and making you a better football team? So we're trying to draft football players that contribute and make us a better football team versus just so. That's when I heard in that light about just draft this position. That's the part that I couldn't really come to grips with. I didn't really understand it. So all good.
Thanks, brother. It's a thing they say. It was never a thing. One thing about Luke is very consistent. He will say a lot of the stuff, but he's very consistent in his conviction. And he has said for the longest, nobody cares about positional value. Any GM who's doing that is probably failing, because the only thing that matters is getting a player who performs and is good. Now, let me shout out my good brother William Birch, who did some research for a brother, so I appreciate that. He says, Luke, you got mad about the Jahmyr Gibbs pick. That's cap. In fact, what I said was, hey, we took Jahmyr Gibbs. You could have, we took Jahmyr Gibbs and we traded back, and we could have just took Bijan Robinson because he can do everything Jahmyr Gibbs do, except for he's probably not as fast as Jahmyr Gibbs. But hey, I don't care. I'm okay. I just know we needed a running back for instant impact. That was my exact words. And then I even turned around and said, look, as long as he performs, I can care less. But the question is always going to be, like I did earlier in the video, is he better than Bijan Robinson? And that's what it's going to boil down to. So that still remains the same. Nothing changed. I was never upset about that pick. That's not the case. That's just not it. In fact, I even laughed at most of the people who taught that positional value, because he basically shitted on everybody's view of positional value. So just putting it out there, FYI. Now, other things that jumped out to me about this past draft, and I'm just going to point this out too. When I watched the Mekhi Wingo tape, I was not impressed neither. I watched the 2023, and then I heard Brad Holmes talk about his 2022 tape, so I went back and looked at 2022, and 2022 was definitely better than 2023, but I still wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. And so my only concern is that did we get enough people to address the division first? And because of the research that William did, I feel a little bit better about the decisions. But in the end, that's just the reality. Let me break in my first guest, Crimson. He's up on the building first. Crimson, what up, though?
Hey, what's up there, Luke?
Hey, I'm good, man. What's good with you?
I mean, I came away from this draft. I mean, you saw me in the chats. I was kind of okay with it. I wasn't like, we needed corners. We got corners. We needed, depth at O-line just because Goff's a statue in the pocket. We got that. But I walked away with like, okay, who are we putting next to Hutch? Okay. We're relying on Reeder being Aleem's partner all the time, even though when's the last time he's played all 17 games? I don't think, since he's coming to the league. And the linebacker core is mediocre. So, and we have a tougher schedule next season. And we're probably going to be doing the same thing we did last season. We're going to try to outscore our problems.
And to me, I'm only looking at it from the standpoint of this, because Brad Holmes said something else that really hit a nerve with me. Like it truly triggered the freak out of me. Like, I'm serious. And what he said was, when we got here, the defense was a total loss. So you knew the whole time you was here, the defense was a total loss, and you were directly invested into the offense.
I mean, there is a lot of his picks on the team that are from defense, but nothing all that impressive,
Right, that's what I'm saying. He took guys that he could take a flyer on. And this is what I'm saying. it's the gambles that's really killing me with these picks. Obviously, you picking second overall. I wonder if Aiden Hutchinson if Aiden Hutchinson didn't go to Michigan, wasn't from Michigan, would they had took him? I don't think so. I think they would have took Walker.
Hard to say. I mean,
or
Thibodeaux.
They would have took one. They would have took one of them too. But my issue is with this particular draft, I don't think it answers some of the questions that we had. I think, yes, did he address positions that I think need to be improved, like tackle? No.
Yeah. Well,
I don't buy Giovanni Manu as a tackle address. Do I buy the guard with Mahogany? Yes, I do.
Yeah, I love Mahogany. He's easily my favorite pick.
Right, so I can see that. Right, the Sione Vaki, I can see that.
Vaki to me made me think of another Malcolm Rodriguez in the sense he's probably going to be a gadget just like how Malcolm is, where Malcolm's linebacker, fullback, safety. It seems to be his new thing in tight end. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with Vaki. I think it's going to be really fun with him. Wingo, I watched a good amount of his film, and I was sending some film in the chat. I don't know if you were watching it or you already watched it when I sent it, but I'm like, Wingo, there's moments. He's only got like one move. He's got a swim move.
Exactly. It's a terrible swim move at that. It's like I've never ever critiqued a person's move as bad as I'm like, yo, why you? First of all, when you do a swim move, people, let me just explain something to you. When you do a swim move, you're swimming, but you're not supposed to bring your arm so far up that it exposes your side plate. You're not supposed to do that. Exactly. In most cases, they teach you to punch over because it's a shorter motion and it's quicker. He throws his arm wide up, and it's so awkward. It's just not a good move. But yeah,
he doesn't do it very often, and he just looks like he's trying to overpower everyone. Don't get me wrong; he's got a good first step, and he's got some power, but he gets shut down just because of how short he is. It looks like anytime I was watching either Wisconsin or it looked like he was playing. I think it was the Boston game he was playing against. It just looked like over time he just tried to keep overpowering the guards and tackles, and the lower ones he would tire him out. That's when he started making plays in the late game, it looked like. But the early game, everyone kept saying he kept getting double teamed. And I'm like, where? He keeps getting shut down by one tackle or one guard. I mean, LSU was trying to make him like an edge D-tackle hybrid. I thought he was okay in the run game a little bit. He looked like he had good awareness if somebody was trying to blow through a hole. But again, yeah, he looked like he fit where he was at. Everyone kept saying, oh, he's a steal. He's a steal. I'm like, I don't see it. There's nothing.
I don't see it either. I didn't see this. It's funny how every player we got was a steal. Manu, a steal. Savaki, a steal. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these generic statements that's being made, everybody's a steal. Like, this is a steal.
I was Manu a steal. I did not understand. I'm like, Jesus. It's like, Luke, you might as well just send a video of you playing football with your kid
over again. And it's like, and this is the other thing. It's not even just that. You traded up for him.
That's the worst part about it. You traded,
and if somebody, let's say for example, right now, hypothetically, and shout out to my man William. He says name all the 6'8" guards. I don't want to. I don't care because this is what they got to know.
Gives a crap.
When everybody talks about these picks that go past the two corners, they don't even talk stats. They tell me measurables. He's 6'8". Nobody is telling me like, man, this dude got a quick first step on his kickback. Nobody's telling me he's using his arms appropriate. I'm not hearing none of that. I'm hearing he's 6'8". He's 300 something pounds. He ran a 4.29. I mean 4.92. I don't care.
What does that even matter? It's like, are we going to hand him the ball? Is he going to be a running back?
He's not running the ball.
Stand there and hold. What does he need all that for? If he's
now, my big brother Detroit's on Big Wheels. So I need to be on the show. The link is in the damn video. Get in here. You know how this works. Get in here. Okay. Let me bring in my next guest, Crimson. Big Wheels in the back. Hold on, but my man John Kapler is next, so I'm gonna bring in John. And Crimson, if you want to hang in the back, you can. I'm just trying to be honest. I want to be objective. I don't know how everybody loves every pick. I find this to be delusional. I find the positional value take to have aged really well because nobody was out here going against positional value but me. Also, in terms of my man Greg bringing this up, Cam Sutton, of all the people who hyped him up, poor old Luke was the only one that was like, the Steelers don't get rid of good players, and he can't cover deep balls. And I was told, what do you mean he was this and he was blah blah blah? Yeah, and as soon as something came along, they couldn't wait for it to get out because they could void contracts and everything. That's another story. And then Greg brings up another good point when he says Nick Mullins passed for 800 yards because we couldn't get home. So I'm praying that Matthew Battis pans out. I'm praying that Wingo pans out. I'm praying that these guys that we added pan out, because if they don't, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Oh, yeah. Let me bring in my next guest, Crimson. Hold tight. John, you are in the building. What up, though?
Not much. What's going on, Luke?
Not
much,
man.
Lions fans, faithful.
Man, talk to me real quick. Because I know Detroit's on Big Will about to give me the business. So go ahead, man. Talk to me.
I mean, we like a lot of hope. We like high potential. Injured and high potential. He's got lots of high potential at 6'8". It is what it is. We got the 2 cornerbacks. I was happy. I was like, we got what we needed. Brad Holmes could have took punter, kicker, garbage can, water boy, and I'd have been like, cool. We got what we needed. And later on, we will go and we will get more edge help. But Brad Holmes, if I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. He's got high potential. He's 3rd string. Let me slap him on the ass. Rah, rah, rah. Go give me 1 first string play and then out of 12, and the other 11 can be 3rd string plays. Just give me 1 out of 12. That's all I need. Because you've got potential, and I can rah you on. Because I'm the smartest guy in the room.
And again, shout out to my man Echo 4 Whiskey. He says Brad Holmes took us from 3-13 to the NFC Championship. I think we all earned the right to shut the fuck up and let him cook. That's why I don't speak on golf thing anymore.
Oh my gosh!
The thing
hold on. I have to be offended. He told us to shut the fuck up.
Hold on, John. He didn't tell us to shut the fuck up. He's making a general statement, John.
I know. I know he made a general statement. I made a general statement.
Here's my response to this, Echo 4 Whiskey. Everything that you do in life can be critiqued. When you go to work, you're getting critiqued on your work performances. Like if you're a welder and you don't do those certain welds right, they'll judge you for it. They'll critique it. And so what most of us are doing is critiquing it. What's blowing my mind is the blind loyalty to the fact that that our head coach is getting the most out of his players. The same head coach that most people wanted fire and gone, but they was rooting to keep Matt Patricia for 3 years because it takes 3 years to change a culture. Well, Dan Campbell did it in less than 3 years, and nobody talks about that. They wanted him fired. The same people who wanted Aaron Glenn fired, but even our general manager admits that the defense was a total loss, and they needed to do the whole thing over. So he was coming into an impossible situation and still got a lot out of them. And so all I'm pointing out is this. Yes, you can have that view and say that, don't talk about the golf thing, but I'm going to talk about the golf thing because guess what? In your division alone, and already out of the games that I named, everybody quarterback can run but yours. And that's an issue because now there is no threat. We blitz him, he ain't running nowhere. There's no threat of that. So that's where my issue comes in. I want to be able to get after people's quarterbacks, and that's all I'm saying.
I understand what Brad Holmes. I mean, I've accepted what he's going to do, what he's not going to do. There's no sense in getting upset over it because at the end of the day, as he said, I don't give a damn what you like, what you think. You're an armchair GM. Awesome, cool. I'm a fan. We have perspective. He's going to do whatever the flying fluck he wants to do. And I understand what the last comment was saying. It was an in general statement about shut the fuck up. Just had some issues with people when I say that general statement of everyone just needs to shut up and let it be. It was just kind of a poke at someone. But no, it is what it is. We got 2 cornerbacks. I think we needed it. That's what our defense needed. And I think next year we will address that other edge to where maybe it has to do with money contract to where we got Aiden Hutchinson coming up and we'll get someone else that's maybe a 2nd or 3rd round that really stands out and the money won't be such an impact to where we can keep Hutchinson and this draft pick and or free agent.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's just one of the things that you got to look at like that. William says, "Wait, Luke, did you say we didn't get home versus the Vikings?" No, what I'm saying is in the game that we had against the Vikings, we were not getting home in the way that we were supposed to be getting home. It's not like this is the thing. You got to look at these games, all right? So like when you go through, you look at the games against the Vikings. Let's look at the first game that we had against the Vikings. The score was 30-24. They shouldn't even been able to do 24 points, to be honest with you. I'm just keeping it 100. They shouldn't even be able to get that many points. They then got another 20 points. But the reason they was able to do that, all the passing that they were doing, was because the quarterback generally had time. And when we got the sacks, we blitzed. And there's a few times that they got home off just pure pass rush, but majority of those were blitzes. And I'm just telling you and the rest of the people listening that if the only way we're going to get home on these quarterbacks is to blitz, cool. But it's Nick Mullins.
And maybe
it's Nick Mullins.
Bucky's kind of a safety running back. He's got some speed. Maybe they throw him in on some situations where his job is going to be, hey, you spy the quarterback, he moves, you go get his ass. Because he does seem to be a hard hitter from what I've heard and what little I've seen.
Brad Holmes already said he's running back material. So he's running back.
I mean, he says a lot of things. I mean, he could be a running back, but in a pinch, if he needs them, hey, you're a gadget player. You go fuck that quarterback up if he tries to get past the goal line. So,
and again, I totally get it. I want to get the Trace on Big Willie and John. Yep. Let me get them in.
Sounds good. I had to hop out anyways. Just wanted to.
All right, man. You have a good one, sir. Appreciate you for coming through.
Take care.
Again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, people. I'm just telling you, you know, we getting home on this stuff. You like, oh, I'm just saying. Look, these scores are close. He had the first game. That Nick Mullins had 411 passing yards. Yeah, he was sacked 4 times, but he had 411 passing yards, right? One game, that was the first one, I believe that's the 30-24. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you could say, oh, well, that's because our cornerbacks ain't good. Well, I told you that Cam Sutton wasn't shit, but I had to argue with people about that. I had to literally argue with people about that. He threw 4 interceptions that game, and we blitzed the hell out of him. Why? For the same reason I'm concerned about Jared Goff. He ain't running nowhere. The second game that they had, he threw the ball for 396 yards. That's literally 807 yards passing. And he still threw 2 more interceptions, still got sacked a total of 8 times versus the Vikings. A team that was on a complete downfall, had no running game or nothing. But no, we were not getting home. We were not. He had time. You in the first game against the Vikings. Look at the box score. Go look at the stats in there. Iffy, 2 sacks. The safety, 2 sacks. Safety, 2 sacks. Romeo Core got 1, and that's on a cleanup after a blitz. And Brian Branch got the other. We were not getting home with our damn front. So we had to generate that through blitzing. Let's go to the next game. Jack Campbell with another sack. Aiden Hutchinson with 2. Levi with 1. And this was the last game of the season. We was already up, I believe, 20-6 by the third quarter. So, yeah, they have no running back. You can just tee off. Now you got a mobile quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. Aaron Jones is now the running back over there, and they still got Addison, who you're going to need pressure so the ball's not getting to him. They still got Justin Jefferson, who went ham, and it just no, he's like Calvin Johnson. I know you can do with that. It just is what it is. But let me bring Andy Trace on Big Wheel. Go ahead. I know he gonna check me.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing up in here?
Hey, listen. I know you finna give me the business, but I'm finna listen. Listen.
Yes.
I'm gonna have some fun with you on this one. Go ahead, though.
Okay, so I've been waiting for this one. My son's birthday, so I couldn't really come in like I wanted to. So, but trying to get that together right now. They in the pool, so now I get to challenge you right now.
All
so
right,
I lit up my cigar so I can feel good about this. Now, my thing is, I feel like everybody in so much of they want to see us fail mentality. It's like even when we're doing good, we're trying to find a reason to say it's bad. And I'm like, dude, like it's a process. Yeah, our secondary was bad last year, and he doing something to fix the secondary. And yes, he drafted some linemen that everybody feel like, oh, that's a reach, that's this, that, and other. But he's trying to build depth. He's not trying to get starters. We built a good enough team where we don't need starters. Back in the day when we draft, every time we draft, we was always trying to draft starters. We're not drafting starters right now. We're drafting people that we can develop. And then that was a big thing that you used to always talk about, developing players. And that's what they're doing.
I said rounds 1 and 2.
Wait a minute. But you also always talked about developing players behind the starters. You always talked about that. So don't shy away from it now. Don't shy away from it now. Now that they're developing players, they're trying to get players to develop behind them. So that way, when we lose Taylor Decker later on, we got a person that we can try to move some people in place. We're trying to set it up so we can be a long-term good team, not just right now. That's the thing we don't want is a firecracker team. We good for 1 year and next year we bad because we made all these bad decisions. I like what's going on. Like I said, we building depth. We putting people behind people. And like I said, you say it's a reach, but if it turns out good, that everybody's going to forget about what they did or anything else to get them. So it's like I said, I like what's going on. I like that they're trying to build a depth behind our starters, and they focusing on our offensive line because that's our main focus. Offensive line, we can keep that good, which we battled forever to even get one. And now that we have one and we have somebody that's in here that's trying to keep that offensive line good, I'm not mad about that at all.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Sad part about y'all look alike.
Hey, shout out to you. I'm just messing with you, bro.
I know.
I
was waiting for that one. I knew you was waiting for that one. You was just waiting. You were like, as soon as he stopped, I can't wait.
Hey,
I can't wait.
Hey, you know it's all love, bro. My man, but
for sure. I got you.
Hey, listen. I think you made some very valid points. I cannot disagree like totally with what you said. I do have questions. And it's just a need.
Can't control yourself, man.
I couldn't help it.
I know you couldn't help it.
I couldn't help it. Listen, I'm gonna have fun today. I've been trying to get on. It's been a challenge.
That's what's up. That's what it's about.
God. All right. So look, you made some good points. I have questions. I want you to answer me this. The first question is: how many starters did we draft in this draft? For day
starters?
Day one starters. One. Okay. Let me ask you this next question. How does that one starter help with our inability to deal with mobile quarterbacks?
He's a corner that can come up and tackle. That helps with that. Now we have two corners that can come up and tackle. So that was our main thing. We had a lot of people that like kind of wanted to come up and tackle, but not really. They're aggressive.
Okay. My last question is this. Have the Lions done enough this offseason, including the draft, and clearly there's still some more offseason left, not only win a division, but return to the NFC Championship game?
I believe so.
Okay, and so
because we're getting DJ Reader, it's gonna open up a lot for us because the linebacker should be able to flow a lot better. That's gonna help with the running quarterback. So I believe that we short up our secondary with the picks we made. I mean, the best player is gonna play, but I believe so.
Okay, if you believe that, then I got nothing else for you because at that point, you let me know what your views is. Even though the question that I had, you like, okay, this is what it is, and you still believe that we're going to do that, then I'm good. I want that level of confidence from the fan base when they're talking to me. So I'm good with that. Broken Tubin says, I'm behind listening to this, but this is funny that you won't give a grade for 3 years, but jump on floors and ceilings. Make it make sense. If you heard what I said, I know that they're going to ask me for a grade, so I'm going to say C, but I'll tell you with the floors and ceilings from what I can see on the tape. In other words, I'm not giving a grade. I'm telling you this is about as good as I think they can get based on what I've seen on tape, and about as bad as I can see them being based on what I've seen on tape. And so,
which I do give you that. My bad, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do give you that. You have said that you're going to always give a C every year until you see what happens. So
right,
I'll give you that.
They're going to force me to give a grade, and I know I'm going to have to give a grade, and I'm like, I don't grade them until 3 years. I want to see what they do, and then I can give them a grade. And I said that at the beginning of the video, but I mean, again, I'm just giving people something so they can say, hey, he said this, and that's fine with me. My man Chris Stevens is in the building. What up, though? But yeah, I mean, I get it. And again, the link is in the videos on the chat. So if you want to jump in and talk your stuff with me, all you need really is a phone that got a microphone. That's it. You can come in and talk your stuff. Now, I will say this. When you look at this draft, right? You said we got one starter.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not a little bit slightly worried about the mobile quarterback? Not a little bit?
Because I told you the DJ Reader is going to help the cornerbacks flow, which should help with the run mobile quarterback. And the cornerbacks, both the cornerbacks that we have come up and hit. And we still have Branch that comes up and hit. So that should help with the running quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Campbell is going to be a lot better this year. The linebacker we got from Iowa. So I believe he's going to be a lot better this year. So I believe that we did fix that situation somewhat because we have two defensive tackles that can push the pocket, which will make the quarterback either have to run outside the pocket or not. And if the corners can come up and hit, we good. We was one of the best teams against the run last year.
Okay. Look. You ain't getting no beef out of me, brother. You ain't getting no beef out of me. To go back with my man. All right, William say, Luke. All right, since 2021 was 3 years ago, what grade you give Brad Holmes for that draft class? Let's take a look because see, when you ask things like that, it's great. Penei Sewell pick, I've always loved that pick. I thought I like Slater slightly better than him. And Slater has not been a slouch. Penei Sewell has been about as advertised, and I'm not mad at it. That's an A. So right off the rip, he gets an A for that particular draft. All right, for that draft pick. And then he came back with Levi Onwuzurike, a guy who on tape looked like he should have been more explosive. But for me, that is a 100% D because I can see he has a role on the team, but he ain't about nothing. So, you know, it's documented. I'm not there with that one. So that's a D. And then with Aleem McNeil, once when they first drafted him, I was confused. I had got maybe 30
that ended up being the best pick
into his damn tape, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I 100% get it now. And so off rip for me, that pick right there is another A. You nailed that one. You got that guy in the third round, and he has been doing nothing but getting better and better and had impact instantly. So I love that. Iffy, y'all not gonna like this grade, and I don't care what he did last year. It's been 3 years and he's just not getting going. That's a D. That's a D pick for me. I think that 1 year he had was gonna be just that. I think he could probably get slightly better maybe down the road, but I don't see it. I don't see him being like the answer full time at safety. So no. Amon-Ra St. Brown 100% is an A for me because I was screaming for us to get that guy. That's on tape. I'm on record for screaming. In fact, I even saw the video of him escorting the cornerback off the field on a block. And I was so, ever since that moment, it was an A. He was as Bill. I'm actually even recorded being hyped as hell about that pick and the next pick I'm finna announce because I cared about these picks. We come back with people like Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes has been spotty. He has not lived up to what I thought he would be. But I also don't know if that's because they kicked him inside. And one of the things I remember him doing at Purdue was being inside, outside, and rushing. I think he might be better served rushing. He just got to finish the tackle. We can't have no more whiff tackles like we did against the Cowboys. But that one right there gets a D, okay? Because he has not lived up to the bill. Jamar Jefferson was a 7th-round pick. I didn't never understand the extra running back pickup at all. And for that reason, that gets an F. Okay. So the Lions made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. Right? Which really brings it out, which really brings my my grade, let me see. That brings my grade total to a C plus if I did it based on the real numbers given for it, because there's 4 points for A, 3 for B, 2 for C, 1 for D, 0 for F. He's at a C plus in that draft based on the actual numbers. So if I just took those numbers and added them all up, which got me a total of 15. I divided that by 7. I got a 2 points. What did I get again? Damn it! What did I get? I had a 2 point something. It was just barely underneath the. It was like B minus C plus level. So that's what I got for his grade 3 years, and it wasn't a bad grade. So,
you should play that for yourself.
Huh?
You should play that for yourself.
What you mean?
For a couple of them picks. I believe the iffy pick was one. You had to get. That's the part of the development. You know what I'm saying? With iffy. So
no, if he played though, if he was playing,
yeah, but he still was getting developed. They was trying to figure out. He said it last year, like he didn't know. Like they were saying, like his blitzing was all this, that, and other. They worked on him. And that's development. Like he got better as the year went on.
That's cool.
That's the development. So
I got a small sample of iffy. I can't be giving iffy high grades, and I got a small sample.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a D. I would say a C before a D, because now you in between. But you gonna go D where you more on the low end when you're not even giving them a chance.
Okay, here, because I see you on my head. I'm gonna give him a C. Okay, that make you feel better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can sleep better tonight.
I be damn. What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
All right, so that moves his score up to a 16. I divide that by 7. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I divide that by 7.
To you, it's still gonna be a C. I already know how your grading
still
goes.
A C plus B minus. I'm just
that's
saying.
this is how your grading go. I know how your grading go.
It's been that way in the U.S. for the longest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I know what school you went to, so I know why your grading go like that.
Wow, that's disrespectful. All right. Perry Ball says, "At Luke, what's the percentage of all picks being starters or backups?" I do not know how to answer that. I don't do it based on percentage. I just believe that when you're drafting, that first 2 rounds they should be starters. The first 2. The third can be a backup. The fourth can be a backup. Rounds 5 through 7 can be developmental guys.
But it also it goes by the team too, though. Like the Patriots every year they didn't pick starters in the first and second round every year. You know what I'm saying? They pick depth players after they built their team. You know, once you build a team up, now you building the depth. You're not gonna always get starters in the second round. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go by that logic unless you just still got a bad team. Then you gotta pick starters every round, every first 3 rounds and all that stuff.
Listen, that's a fair point. That's a fair point that I can't argue with you on. But I have always looked for starters rounds 1 through 2. I don't care how you find them. They need to be starters round 1 and 2. And so off rip, that's just it's just what I always measured it by. That's just me.
But what about if you in the second round you get a potential starter? Because you have players that's there, but they on 1-year deals.
So I'll give you a perfect example. You remember when the Lions selected oh God, what is his damn name? Darius Slay? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. And they tried to let Darius Slay play. Like they tried to. He was struggling and he needed some time to develop. and so they slowed him
Yes.
down.
Yeah, and it worked out in his favor.
And it worked out in his favor, and I'm not mad at that, right? But when he came out, he started. So
and that's a bad team. That was bad coaching. You put a guy out there that wasn't ready.
Okay, listen. I won't argue with you on that. I'm just merely making the point that you know what I'm saying. Like, look, these type of things should not be happening. That's all I'm saying, and I'm not mad at that. When I look at this team, there are positions that do not have a starter at it, particularly opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. It does not have a starter option.
It's by committee right now.
And so off rip,
it's by committee right now. I got you.
By rip, that's where my issue come in at. And so, and then with the linebackers, again, they would be decent linebackers if everybody we played didn't run. They all run. Like, they all leave the hell alone. So it is what it is. It says, my man Boom says, what Brock Martin doing, Luke? Don't get me started. Shoot. And listen, I got a Broderick Martin story. I happened to see him out somewhere where he stole the ladies' parking spot, and I just thought, damn, that's kind of. And the only reason I noticed him was because when he got out, he huge as shit, and I was like, oh, that's our D tackle. He took that ladies' parking spot. That was cold, man, cold. But nonetheless,
you set him up.
Which I didn't. Broken Tubin says, did the play in the championship or watching the playoff at home? Did they play in the championship or watch playoff? Huh? Did the play in the championship or watch the playoff at home?
I guess they didn't play in the championship. They watched it from home. I guess that's what he's saying.
I'm not
for sure, but I'm thinking that's what I'm getting. I'm guessing that's to go with us talking about them being a better team. Maybe, I don't know, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Hopefully he cleared up for me. Shout out to Boom, say he's still in parking spots, but not instead of positions. Yeah, I'm gonna need him to do something.
He's working on it. That was his first step. He's working on it. That's his first step.
Granted, I kind of understand why he did it based on where we were at, because we were there for the same reasons, but I just left it be. You know what I mean? Like I left it be. So I get it though. I get it. Let me bring back in Crimson Will. Are you finna get out of here? Or you got a little bit more time to talk?
I got a little more time. Go ahead. You can
I'm gonna bring Crimson back. Again, if y'all want to join the show, feel free. The link is there. This is just my view. I don't grade drafts until 3 years later. Like if I was told, hey, I need you to grade the 2022 draft, I'd be like, bro, we haven't hit 3 years. And if you force me to grade it right now, you're gonna be upset with me.
Always.
I promise you're gonna be upset with me. You're not gonna like my grades because one of the players we took in that draft that ticked me off was James Mitchell at tight end when Nakobe Dean was sitting right there. So don't ask me to grade it right now. Give it another year. Hopefully it help bump the grade up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Crimson, you heard Will. Will came hard on me. You know what? Pause. I don't like.
Definitely that was all out of order. Yeah, no.
I mean, by all means, yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Brad hasn't, earned some respect for some of the moves. He's made good picks. Don't get me wrong. He's earned some respect, but then again, it's not like he isn't without criticism. You can sure as hell criticize him. I just hate that we have a fan base now that's against criticizing. It's the same issue as a Wings fan. Just you can't criticize Stevie Y. It's a thing in this town. You can't criticize DMs unless you massively F up.
Hey, I can't say that because they've been criticizing Weaver all year.
Okay. That's like I said. There's a lot.
Again, I totally get what they saying, and what people are bringing up. Oh, hold on. First of all, shout out to my man Super Saiyan Lion who shows up. He says, "At Luke, Nakobe Dean hasn't done a damn thing either with the Eagles." Okay, that's okay. You know what? Let's say I bite. Let's say I bite and you say he ain't done a damn thing, right? Nakobe Dean with them has a total of 43 total tackles. He's only started 4 games, and he's played in 22, right? He's played in 22 games, started 4, right? Got 43 tackles, 31 of them are solo, 12 are assists, 3 tackles for a loss, 1 quarterback hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what's it on?
I was going to ask a quick question. Can you put stats next to Malcolm Rodriguez?
I am.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you did that. Go ahead.
No, I am. But remember, my original statement was my beef was the goddamn tight end pick.
I know what it was. This is personal. Go ahead.
Just let him cook.
First of all, he said this is personal. First of all, okay. I don't know why I let you on, man. You said, no, bring that up. Let me go to this goddamn party. And then I'll address your personal thing going on, all right? So we sitting up there, and we take this damn tight end, James Mitchell. James Mitchell played in 29 games. Now, again, in comparison to Nakobe Dean, he played in 22. Nakobe Dean started 4 games. James Mitchell has only started 1 game. James Mitchell has gotten 13 targets. He's caught all 13 passes for 141 yards and 1 touchdown. So he got 100% catch rate. Yeah.
That's what they said.
I mean, at least he's consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to take what we can get.
Again, I'm merely looking at it like this. Now, to address Detroit's own Big Will with the Malcolm Rodriguez, to which I flat out told people he is not a starting linebacker in this league. I told people that he is a glorified backup who can come in and give you some relief, but he is meh at best, and people do not like it. So this guy who comes in, 6th-round pick, he plays in 16 games, start 15 his first season. He has a total of 2 pass deflects, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 sack, 87 total tackles, 52 solo, 25 assists, 8 tackles for a loss, and 3 quarterback hits.
Well, he better than Nakobe Dean already. Shoot.
And then the next year,
didn't he get an interception?
And then the next year, he plays in 17 games, started 3 at linebacker. And obviously he had to do a little bit of fullback role, but they don't really stat that. He had 1 forced fumble, 21 total tackles, 13 solo, 8 assists, and and then they get the 1 interception. And so he has a total of 33 games played, 18 games started, 2 pass deflects, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 sack, 1 interception, 108 total tackles, 75 solo, 33 assists, 8 tackles for less, and 3 quarterback hits. And
I'm taking him up with Nakobe Dean already. God, dog.
But here's the difference between him and Nakobe Dean.
Yes.
Nakobe Dean has only played in 22 games and started 4, whereas this guy has started in literally 18 games and played in 33. So he had more. Wait a minute. He had more opportunity than Nakobe Dean.
What round was Nakobe Dean drafted in?
3rd, wasn't it?
Nakobe Dean. No. Nakobe Dean was drafted in the
4th round.
Third round.
Yeah, 3rd round, right?
Yep.
And you got Malcolm Rodriguez that was drafted in the 6th round, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm trying to put out is this 3rd round guy that you said should be a starter. If you pick him in the 3rd round, it's not a starter.
No.
He's not a starter. We got a guy we picked in the 6th round. That wasn't supposed to be a starter.
Listen, my starters are always rounds 1 and 2. Rounds 3 and 4 can be backups. Rounds 5 through 7 can be developmental. That has always been the way I viewed it.
Well, they should have picked Nakobe Dean in 6 or 7.
Well, it's not a matter. It's not a matter of doing that because what the real problem is with this is Nakobe Dean went to one of the most talented teams in the league.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you go to a talented team, yes, you're not going to play. You're going to have people that you got to develop on a good team.
But what I'm pointing out to you is we're investing in tight ends in this draft when we didn't need James Mitchell at all. He was another player who was hurt and couldn't come in and help us do a damn thing. And so my biggest issue was you went out and you got a guy that was hurt, and I'm like, yo, we didn't need that. That's not what we needed.
True, but you live and you learn. They're getting better and better with their draft. So you live and you learn.
But that's not the beef. My beef is we could have took some linebackers before we took goddamn James Mitchell, and I don't care who we took. That's my point.
Okay, I got you.
It was linebackers there. I just thought that James Mitchell was a bum.
Okay. I got you.
Your TV is loud, Crimson. Crimson, your TV is loud.
My TV? No, I don't have my TV on.
Is that you? Is that you, Detroit on Big Wheel?
That might be because I'm outside. So I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. Let me see. I'm gonna get my smoke on right quick.
God damn.
And let y'all know, you know what I'm saying, that I'm feeling good right now because I got my point across, finally. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get on here more often because me and Luke going to have to get together on something because we're supposed to have us a battle channel anyway. So we're going to figure this out, though. We just got our times is just always jacked up. But we're going to figure it out.
But before you leave Detroit on Big Wheel, just one more time for the people. Because, you know, if I don't do this, I won't feel right.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
But the good thing about that is, everybody got to finally see your face.
I'm right about him. I'm always right. It's like when I'm right, and when I'm wrong, I could have been right, so I'm still right because I could have been wrong.
That makes sense.
True.
Shout out to Detroit on Big Wheel, brother. You be safe out there.
For sure, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right, sir. Look, again, I'm just merely making out observations. All right. And again, shout out to him for coming through and hollering at the people for us. Again, for me, it just boiled down to it. Now, let me try to get caught back up on some of the chat. I'm a little bit there. He said, "Don't get me started on Weaver." That right there hit a nerve. Greg was ready to unleash on Troy Weaver. Like, hey, dog, if we don't get rid of this dude, Patty Grimes was ready to unleash on him too. I see y'all was ready for him.
Bring up the Pistons. I honestly forgot they even existed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, again, my thing is this: we just have to make sure that we are keeping it in perspective. That tight end pick blew my mind. I'm sorry. Now, shout out to my man Detroit fan, man. You're right. If you look at Hendon Hooker and the tape, you do see a lot of him on those tapes and stuff. But he was hurt when we took him. That's why I was like, you taking a hurt tight end? Did we not take enough hurt people?
You know, that's another thing people keep bringing up is the whole, he's a third-round pick. You're expecting him to be a starter. I'm like, Hendon's different in that regard. Look,
he's different quarterback.
I was not like a big, believer in Hendon just because of the system he was coming from. But he's not the normal type. Yes, there's the age. Yes, there was the injury. But this guy is a Heisman-level quarterback. This guy isn't the normal. If he wasn't hurt, good chance he would have been picked in the first round. He's got high upside. And I think he's half the reason why Goff hasn't been signed yet.
I think so, too. I think they're going to give Goff a chance to prove it, I think, in my brain. Or they could just be waiting to see what they can do before they, give him his money to see what they do with the other money. But it is what it is. I agree with Ducky Khan. Rodrigo is an excellent backup. And that was my whole viewpoint. He should not be starting. That was my whole view. That everybody was hyping him up and saying how great he was because he was a 6th-round pick. And I'm like, He's a backup at best, and we need to upgrade our linebacker room really bad from him. And what did the Lions do? They went out and got Jack Campbell and upgraded the linebacker room for a reason, because he is a backup. He is good on special teams, and I agree with you on that, Ducky Khan. That's 100% the truth. That's what it is.
Yeah,
and
having guys like that in the backup is definitely great. He was definitely an asset of getting that interception. Same with him and Barnes. Having backups like that, once you get to the postseason is nothing but a grueling slog of who's left on your team, and having guys like that, it's aces.
Exactly. But we had that guy, and he still couldn't address the Brock Purdy movements. Like you know what I mean? Like the mobile quarterback has been a problem for us. When we went against the Ravens, you know, the running quarterback, the Ravens, the Bears, even the Packers, that one game where Jordan Love took off. The mobile quarterback is a real concern for me, and I'm not going to change it. Super Saiyan Lion says the real difference is Luke Light and Kobe Dean and Hayden Rodrigo. Actually, it's not. The linebacker I wanted that year, we didn't even get. So, so that's definitely not true. It's just that when I watched him and I saw him playing, I remember thinking, oh, he's just meh. He was just meh. Like, that's what I saw. And I wasn't trying to down him. I just told him that he's a player that you can definitely upgrade from. I'm also saying the same thing about Alex Anzalone. He's starting to get older. Alex Anzalone has played better than I expected, and I respect the rise in his play, but he ain't the long-term answer. And so, yeah, we need to upgrade from his ass too. Jack Campbell.
What's your opinion on Derek Barnes then? If you say he keeps getting better, is there a possibility he can finally crack that spot of being a starter, or is he just forever a backup?
I think they see him forever as a backup. Brad Holmes talked about in his presser from day 3, he talked about each player that they draft them based on a role. And so I think they see him as a backup. And unfortunately, like, it just is what it is. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's just is what it is.
I also do have a theory on why the heck they're not starting James Houston, and I think it's because of Glenn's system. Because what I've noticed with Glenn, he seems to really, really likes to keep offenses guessing. Because I've noticed he'll have his D-line drop back, and he'll have his freaking secondary players come in for the sack. I think that would explain the reason why we have a lot of secondary players getting sacks, and why we took guys like Arnold and Rakestraw, who are both very efficient tacklers, because you need guys that can trick players. Because that's the thing about our team. They love gadget players, and they love tricking teams into thinking, oh, they're just going to go and like do this. Nope, not at all. Completely flip the script on you and make you panic, because that's explain why the heck Hutch seems to drop back and get interceptions, and why you'll have a bunch of players come in that are coming in those rushing the quarterback. You're like, wait, why is this guy rushing the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is exactly or how it lends itself to being what it is.
Yeah.
What I do know is that however he see them in the role that he see them in, I'm okay with that. I want to see it. And again, I'm not people think I hate Brad Holmes, but I've had the same criticism the entire time, which was simply that when are you going to really invest into the defense? Because when you came to this team, the worst part of this team was the defense. That's always been
the big concern.
Yeah, it's like that thing. Ducky Khan says Holmes is the best GM ever. I don't know if I say ever, but has he been the best GM we've had? Yeah.
That's not saying much, though. It's like saying you're the best quarterback, and it's Jared Goff's the best quarterback we ever had. How big of a list is that?
Right, and we haven't had a lot of good quarterbacks and stuff. So, Joe Lewis 313 says, "Oh man, Luke caught me slipping again." Hey, I put the video out thing early. I'm gonna try to go live again tomorrow. Hopefully, the kids is letting me be free. So shout out to them. Luke must not remember Bob Quinn. A lot of the players Bob Quinn brought here. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, Graham Glasgow was brought here by Bob Quinn, and he's back. Jalen Reed, Maben, like, it's a bunch of them. And, like, Taylor Dacker, Frank Ragnow, like, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Bob Quinn did a great job. Bob Quinn's biggest mistake was bringing his buddy Matt Patricia here.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, people were happy with Bob Quinn, just being truthful.
Oh, yeah. They used to call him freaking what? General Bob at one time, Master Chef Bob or something like that at one point, I recall. I don't know. The one thing I'm mainly worried about this draft class is I was hoping we had a chance to get BB. We didn't do that. And it's like, okay, we have Frank Ragnow. And I'm hearing, like, I remember reading somebody was saying that they saw him trying to walk up some stairs to like do an autograph signing. And it looked just painful for him. I'm like,
see, this is the thing. I'm not into who we could have got until we hit the 3-year mark. But realistically, in this draft, you could have got a lot of different people. I haven't seen these people play for me to say, oh, we could have had this. Like, everybody likes to talk about, well, we could have had Aaron Donald when we had Ndamukong Suh. The only reason I would agree with that is because, yeah, you should have did that if you wasn't going to re-sign Ndamukong Suh. And once Ndamukong Suh left his team, our defense was always hot garbage thereafter. So his impact was greatly felt. 313 Kurt says Rodrigo only started because our linebackers were mid. Facts. Crum says Shannon Sharp and Osho love Captain Jack. Guess they don't know ball.
What?
I don't know where that's coming from, but hey, shout out to you. Marvin Tober says, yo, what's up, fam? What up, though? That fan man says, but it's kind of wild if you go back through Hendon Hooker's tape. James Mitchell was all over that West Virginia University highlight tape. Can't wait to see them reunite in the preseason. Me neither.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that.
Donkey Kong said the reason Luke plays that is because it's legit spoken about him. Hey, listen, if one thing you know about Luke, his skin is thick and tough. But yeah, and again, I'm having fun, people. Keep up. Don't take it so personal. Whiskey Nee says, much love at Detroit's on Big Will. Enjoy the evening. Gotta have fun. We got Greg out here talking about some Go Ravens.
Kill me.
Boom says mobility is a big problem. It is. And Alex is an old head. Marvin Tober says, can Houston play some linebacker?
That's what they seem to keep doing every time. They seem to keep trying to make it.
But I don't get why. The truth is this. I don't think it's a problem with him playing linebacker. I think the problem with him, in my opinion, he doesn't get enough snaps. He's not getting enough reps to affect any damn thing. Like even before he got hurt, he wasn't getting a lot of snaps. And I don't understand why.
They're treating Houston like they're treating Broderick Martin, to where it's like they're acting like he's not good enough. And I'm like, you're telling me he can't beat out Romeo or God, who else? The Okawara brothers, or God, who the hell else was on?
I mean, it's a bunch of them, right? Like, even if you look at Week 1 versus the Kansas City Chiefs, guess who started opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? Charles Harris.
Exactly.
Like, after you saw what James Houston did, you still started Charles Harris. James Houston only took 23% of the snaps on defense last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, I know he got hurt, good people. All right, make no mistake about it. I know he got hurt. But Charles Harris wasn't worthy at what we saw for him not to come in and start at the what he did. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? He's not getting the opportunity that you would expect for him to have. But I think he can play. I think he can play if you let him play. Brad B says they are going to run more of Saban's mixed zone, man. This is the way we can match players up to their best skill set. As long as it stops the mobile quarterback, I'm good.
I just wonder if they're going to be starting Pascal as a partner for Hutch this year, then, if they're not going to use Houston. Because it's like, okay, who's left on here? Is Romeo retired yet? I thought I heard some crazy crap like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, Romeo gone. He's retired. Julian is gone. He's over in the Eagles, who also, again, we talk about Nakobe Dean, but they just signed Devin White over there. They lost to sign Reddick. So it's a lot going on over there. The Eagles got talent on top of talent. That fan man says it's hard to say he hasn't invested in the defense. Now we just spent 4 top 100 picks on 3 cornerbacks. All right, cool.
I mean, yeah, you draft it, but you barely bring anybody in from free agency. That's the one thing I cannot stand freaking Brad in is when it comes to free agents. Either he brings in hurt players, old has-beens, or doesn't do anything at all. It's like the only edge you brought in was Davenport, la-di-da, when you had opportunities to do it.
And that to me is not who does he upgrade from? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. What makes Davenport better than Charles Harris? What makes Davenport better than Romeo Okwara? Or for that matter, what makes him better than Julian Okwara?
I mean, most people keep bringing up how good he is when he is in, but then that becomes the other issue of, yeah, he gets hurt all the time. So what good is that? We got another injury-riddled player. We've had a million of those over the years, so I don't get the point. I mean, I'm glad we have Pascal. Maybe he'll get a chance. Maybe he'll improve. But again, that's a big if. The only thing Pascal's ever proven to me is he's just good at stuffing the run. That's about it.
And truthfully, before this year, before last year, his second round picks were like not doing nothing. Laporta changed that for him, and Brian Branch changed it for him. So, and again, we on year 4. And we finally starting to get after the defense. I mean, cool.
Man,
but
you see that all freaking out about Brian Branch's injury or whatever. What the heck was that? What the heck even happened there? I didn't even read it.
I don't know why he was hurt, why he was in the boot. But as long as he out the boot by September, I can care less.
Yeah.
Marcus Robinson says we're building a winner. Be patient and watch those coaches and players step up. Go Lions. I ain't mad at that. I'm being patient, but I'm still giving objective critiques. Because it blows my mind that we just love everything he do. We just gonna blindly just love everything he do because half of y'all went crazy about his draft last year, and I was like, why? Because he didn't follow positional value. I told you that wasn't no damn thing. I kept telling y'all positional value is not a thing. The people who believe in that just need something to talk about. It's not a thing. Hamden says it's hard to get into the game when you're not getting hit. It is. It is. Greg says Pascal's still on the team. Y'all never talk about him. Yeah, he's still on the team. Did. Yeah. Houston is good against mobile quarterbacks. I think that's one thing we missed last year. Yeah, we definitely
use them.
We definitely missed. No worries. Our savior, James Houston, will be available for those mobile quarterbacks. All right, bet. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, most of the season moves, including the draft, were on defense. I like that. We in year 4, and he's finally addressing it. Great. With high-end picks. Great. And again, it had to line up too, but I get it. Great. Just let the staff do their job. It will all be fine. I'm letting them do their job. But
we have no choice. It's not like we're getting their way. It's not like we're protesting out there. We have no freaking choice. What do you mean?
But when I see people giving an A grade for Giovanni Manu, a total project, that's cap. That's cap. There's no way you're going to tell me Giovanni Manu is an A grade draft pick. Based on what? Because guess what? The moment I start asking people to raise their hand on how many British Columbia University games they watch, I can't wait to see how many hands go up. I could put 200 people in the room, and I bet you we wouldn't have more than 2 to 3 hands up.
Bro, I didn't even know you could draft a player out of Canada in the NFL, to be honest with you. That blew my mind. I was like, we can do that?
Again, it is what it is. It's one of the things where you can get players anywhere you can find them. I mean, it's just got to find them. I think they rotate the D-line a little too much. I agree.
Yeah. Honestly, if I'm Hank Fairley, I'd be royally pissed. If you're telling me I have to make this guy into a starter, at least a backup, I would be like, should I strangle you now? You're telling me I got to make this guy. This guy's playing at a high school level.
Then my attitude to it is fire Hank Fairley because that's your job. Coaching is not something that you can just look at and they give you a grand title to. Coaching is an action. Think about it. It's not when you look at somebody, if you sit there and a person say, I work at McDonald's, that could be a number of things. They can say, I'm a cashier. They can say, they can say, I'm in maintenance or whatever, right? But when you look at coaching, that describes of action, right? And so if he can't get that dude up to par to even be at least a backup, then fire his ass because I have high expectations for this team. And I'm not taking any short change plays or anything like that or any poor attitude. We running with an attitude around here, so you need to be successful in doing just that. And that's just how I look at it. He has a job to do. Get the job done. No excuses.
I know, but you're usually supposed to be getting college level players that actually know how to play the game. You're starting out from ground zero to nothing. That's a little much. Now, don't get me wrong, Mahogany, I could see him being a starter. Maybe not this year, but I could see him being a starting guard.
Again, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marvin Tober. He says our defense upgrade is losing Will Harris. Yeah, I thought he was gonna make it back.
I was so effing happy when I saw that.
Oh my god, he still might make it back though. Don't celebrate too soon, y'all.
I thought he got signed by the Saints.
He did, but the Saints can still cut him, and Detroit will bring him back. We have done it before.
Did Walker get signed actually, or is he still loose? Tracy Walker?
I don't know. I never even looked up to see where he.
Yeah. It'd be nuts if he's still available and Will Harris gets signed. I'm like, how does he? Tracy's at least a pretty decent starter at the very least.
It is. Marcus Robinson says Brad got other teams feeling salty. Marcus Willis says Giovanni Tape looks like Shaq blocking little kid shots. It do. Really? Nobody know who in the hell. Nobody know who in the hell he was blocking. That's the problem. I had an issue with moving up for Arnold. Don't think we needed to. I agree. I did not think we needed to move up for him neither. I'm like, and then it's the other part I looked at.
I mean, I like Arnold personally.
I like Arnold too from what I've seen, but did you need to give up a 3rd round pick to move up to get him? Like, I don't think, like I don't think if you look at Wiggins, what separates Wiggins from Terrion Arnold? Tell me.
Not by much. I mean, they're both
like seriously
corners. They're
like
both
even one of the guys I wanted from Rutgers took it in the 2nd round. I thought he was gonna go to the 3rd, but Matt Milton. What was the biggest difference between these cornerbacks? There was not like this shutdown corner. That's what I'm saying. They were close in my opinion to it, and I didn't think we need to trade it up to give up that pick. It killed me. And then the Manu pick moving up was a bad move. Love the Wingo pick though. Yeah, see the move up for the Manu was confusing to me as well. The Mahogany pick was a steal for where we got him. I agree with that. Yeah. Depending on how you view it. William says, Luke, talent-wise on defense, how close is our current roster to the Patricia's 2020? I don't do anything in comparison to Patricia. I wanted him fired after one game, and I got my ass chewed out for it. So I don't even, to me, that's not a good barometer to measure against.
Honestly, our defense has been ass ever since Sue left. Even in the Caldwell era, it was
exactly
ass.
Exactly. Once Sue left, the defense was different. And I'm just telling you, everything when Matt Patricia came out, I'm telling y'all, when we first saw him, like, who is this guy? I knew he wasn't the answer after that one Jet game, and I got my ass handed to me. And then more games happened, and I kept telling everybody it's Patricia. I can already tell based on who's being put in the game. Who he bitched Glover Quinn.
I'm leaving. What was his name?
Tavon Wilson.
Tavon Wilson.
I had Tavon Wilson. I had Tavon Wilson's wife coming at me because I made comments about it. Like I had his wife actually hitting me up. Like, you don't know what you talking about. My baby can play. Man, your baby ain't okay. He ain't. Now, I'm happy he made it there. More power to him. Right on. But he ain't. And to me, I don't compare nothing to Matt Patricia because there's nothing to compare to. Patricia was a joke from day one for me. And I argue with everyone, and everybody who's been long-time subscribers of mine know this. I argue with everyone from day one. Get out of this thing right now. And I was told you can't fire a coach after 1 year. And all I did was watch as teams did it. Panthers did it. Texans did it. A lot of teams did it. Bears did it. I'm not the Bears. The Broncos did it.
Yep.
1 year out of here. It don't take that long.
The problem is this is an example of why you don't ever hire your friends. That's the thing. And that's what screwed Bob. By all means, if he would have fired Matt Patricia, he'd probably still be the freaking GM. Oddly enough.
He would have. I think he would have. Marvin Tober, he says, I hope the secret of beating Giovanni isn't going low on him. Dipping your shoulders. Pause. I ain't mad at you. No Diddy. Marcus Willis says we can still sign Andre Fluellen. No.
Did anybody sign Stephon Diggs yet?
Stephon, the receiver?
No, not Tim. Quandre Diggs.
I don't want him back here neither.
I don't know. No more Quandre.
I don't want. No, listen, man. Listen, we have moved on. I feel like there are certain people, once you move on from, you moved on. He ain't nobody that you want to bring back. Move on from him. He's not better than our current safeties right now. And that's just the reality of it.
Oh, fair enough.
Detroit Fan Report says Tracy is still a free agent. Wiggins
Damn.
takes more. Wiggins
Really?
takes more risk. I know he takes more risk, but I mean, I get it. GM had PTSD from Seattle taking Witherspoon from Lions. I don't know about all that.
I mean,
hey, and
okay,
Brad
you can-
Holmes, we must trust for all high potential. Echo for which says the dog in him is different. Okay,
I
that's
do
fine.
have to ask you this question, being a Seahawks fan. If you would have picked Gibbs or Witherspoon, who would you have been taking? Would you go one or the other?
Between Gibbs and Witherspoon,
Yeah, like
I would have took the running back because the learning curve for quarterback and cornerback are way higher in my opinion. I see more cornerbacks not succeed than I do running backs. Running backs generally come in and they ball, and that's one of the reasons why I kept trying to push for the running back. I already knew everybody knew that Carter was off the board. So
how was Witherspoon for you guys, anyways?
He was straight. I think the thing with Witherspoon was he started picking up as the season went on, and they tried to pick on him early on and stuff with certain routes, but he was straight. I like what I saw out of him when watching him last year. You know, he got hurt a few times, but for the most part, he was straight. William says, Luke, I'm talking about talent-wise. Talent-wise, how does our 2024 defense compare to 2020? I don't compare anything.
It's two different schemes. I mean, you're comparing
Exactly.
apples and oranges, really.
Exactly. I don't compare anything to Matt Patricia. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And I don't care what the talent was, because guess what? We never got to see the real potential of our talent because he was bringing in all these Patriots guys that he loved. So we never even got the chance to see our talent do any damn thing.
And a lot of the Patriot guys we brought in couldn't even do Aaron Glenn's scheme to begin with. Remember freaking Flowers and what the heck was that linebacker's name? Freaking started with a C. We brought him in. He was supposed to be like the high-end linebacker or whatever from the Patriots. What the hell was his name?
Collins,
thank
Jamie
you.
Collins.
We caught him like that. He was just absolutely terrible. I think he took a pay cut and everything too. It was, ugh. Yeah, and then Tavai, like Johnny Tavai, we couldn't keep him because he couldn't run the freaking Glenn scheme. Most of these guys went back to the Patriots, and to this day, Tavai is still a starter for the Patriots. It's just a scheme that they couldn't run. So it's comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, again, Brad Holmes said he knew that the worst part of this team was defense. He said that he knew that was a total rebuild from the ground up, and that's what he worked on through the 4 years. All right, fine. So that long as I know that you knew, I'm okay. And his thing is talent. Talent, for the love of God, talent. You cannot evaluate talent when you have such poor coaching, because poor coaching will take all the talent that you have and put it in a bad position to make you look bad. It's one of the reasons why when things happen in a certain way, you always hear Dan Campbell say, it's my fault I put you in that bad position. Hell, even if you go back and watch in the Den episode that they just recently dropped, you hear him after that damn Ravens game say, we got our ass kicked and it's my fault. I put y'all in a bad position and didn't have y'all already.
What pick
So
last year?
I'm just putting it out there. What pick from last year disappointed you last season? See, y'all, I can't put no grade on it, but that question didn't ask me about a grade. It says, what pick from last year disappointed me?
I can't really think of any that really truly.
No. The answer to me is easy. The picks that disappointed me the most was Broderick Martin and Kobe Sorsdale. Sorsdale got a chance to show his worth, and he showed it all right. It just wasn't in the right direction. Again, a guy they took in the 5th round from William and Mary. Okay, cool. Hopefully he pans out and get a little bit better.
I thought Kobe was okay for where he was. I thought,
man, hell no, he was a liability. Listen, they took him out. They took him out for the other dude. I'm always botching his name. Ahsoka
something. It was something crazy.
Ahsoka, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But they took him out for him because he wasn't doing it. Those were the 2 picks that disappointed me the most from last year. So far,
Broderick,
again,
I hope they give the guy at least more snaps. I don't think they're going to start him over Reader. Maybe they'll rotate him just so they can save Reader's legs, but they got to give the guy a shot. He only got, 1 snap last season, which blows my freaking mind.
Luke, you have compared our talent on defense last year to the level of 2020.
When did he do that? Did you do that?
Jesus Christ.
Did you? I don't think you did.
I definitely didn't. I've always asked the question of what were the significant upgrades that we have had for this defense. That's what I've asked. But okay. John Jones says AG doesn't have any excuses. Do you agree, Luke? No, I do not. no, I do not.
Who do you have on that D line?
In fact, AG has gotten a lot out of this goddamn team. And no, I do not agree with that because guess what? At the end of the day, yeah, you got some more corners, but you thought you gave them corners before. We have to see people play. That's one. Two, it helps when you got a front seven that can get after people. And we don't have that. We got a front seven because by default, but it's not a front seven that you will argue get after people. It's just not.
I mean, look, you're running a real risk with a lot of these injury-prone corners we have. You're running a real risk that you're going to be starting Kendall Vildor by at least week 5, and I do not want that.
And again, to me, the issue isn't Aaron Glenn, and that's what blows my mind. When people get to talk about Aaron Glenn, I'm trying to figure out why. Why are we talking about Aaron Glenn? Aaron Glenn has not been a problem. There was a lack of talent on defense. It was that way ever since Matt Patricia took over, that defense was having problems. And that was the reason why I wanted him fired at the one game. I saw where I'm like, yo, he about to be a defensive guru. Where it at? Like, I'm having a hard time locating it. Where?
I mean, the fact you're able to get any work out of Bugs or Benito Jones is impressive enough as it is. I mean, the only real dogs you have on that D-line is Hutch and Aleem, and that's about it. There's not really anybody else, but anything else is just kind of okay at best.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like when you look at like if you look at like win rates for defensive tackles and stuff like that, our D line is not. Good luck finding those people. Our defensive line wasn't like, come on, bro. Like, no. And the cornerbacks that he had, I think he got a lot out of their ass. So no, I don't agree with that. Flowers got paid to sit on the bench injured. Facts. The draft of Arnold and Rakshar could spell trouble for Kirby Joseph, which allows Branch to move to his natural position. They've already said that they're going to play Branch as a nickel corner. He's going to stay in there, and they're expecting and according to Brad, he said that these people that he drafted are not starters. They have to earn a spot. This is what he said.
Replace Kirby? Vaki? Well, what's the idea here?
Vaki is a special teams ace.
Yeah, so I don't see why Kirby's job is even going to be threatened in this.
No, I think what Marcus was saying was that he believed that because they added those other cornerbacks, and we already got Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, that they're going to move Branch back to the safety spot. But Dan Campbell is saying that that's not the case.
A lot of times when Glenn loves running 3 safety sets, so I don't see he's going to be out there. He loves his safeties.
He says the reason I say talent is because you make excuses for AG when he messes up because of a lack of talent, but with Patricia, you can't talk about the talent level. Jesus Christ. All right, let me just nip this shit in the butt. You can hop on and have this conversation with me. Even though I'm way past the time that I would be off of here, you can hop on and have this conversation with me. I wanted Matt Patricia fired after one game. And the reason for that is because I saw a coach who was not putting his team in a position to win. And so it doesn't matter how much talent we had. He wasn't putting the offense in a position to win. He wasn't putting the defense in a position to win. He wasn't putting special teams in a position to win. Nobody was in a position to win. And so when I see things like that, it's hard for me to sit there and talk about talent level when I see that the bigger issue is a head coach who is literally letting people play because he cool with them. There was nothing that Tavon Austin did to unseat Glover Quinn. There was nothing.
Yeah, exactly. On top of that, we're talking about the same coach that literally made a phrase called dagger time. If you want to talk about a coach that had a real defeatist attitude, then it would be Matt Patricia. We're comparing 2 different freaking defensive schemes here. There is no comparing it.
Not to mention Not to mention, many of the players that we had on our defense under Patricia were his handpicked guys, from Trey Flowers to Jamie Collins to Tavon Wilson.
Sheldon, remember Sheldon?
Like all these people were at Sheldon. He literally went back and snatched up almost every player he could from freaking
New England.
So no, I'm sorry. Jack Campbell has disappointed me as far as his production. I ain't mad. Luke, in my opinion, I think DPJ can produce what Josh Reynolds did for us when he was here. Same size and speed.
We'll see. Right. I mean, I thought in the end he was doing okay. I mean, the thing about it is with like Goff, I've noticed Goff, it takes a while for him to gel with receivers. Shark would be a good example of that. He's weird about that. And Brown, he wasn't throwing to as well in the beginning either.
Right. And again, I ain't mad at it. And I pray to God that Davenport have a breakout season too, but not break out enough to get a new contract with us. That's all I'm saying. Right. We gutted a whole team just 3 years ago. Like a GM said, we doing it like KC. Yep.
Yeah. We still have what's his face, the assistant GM, Dorsey.
I feel like we do. I just can't remember.
I think we do. He's the assistant GM, and yeah, he's the guy that built KC to what they are today. So yeah,
let me make sure I hit on all these comments. It says Brad Holmes has talked to AG and Dan and drafted accordingly. AG wanted cornerbacks because that's the position he played. That's his scheme. Listen, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, right? I heard that same thing said when he talked about that in the press conference, John Jones. I'm merely making the point that even though I heard that, guess what? I still cannot begin to say, is he out of excuses when I'm still seeing areas that got exposed by Brock Purdy? Like, come on. I'm just saying.
Like they say, everyone keeps bringing up the pressure rate that Hutch gets and this whole team gets of how much pressure we get. We're like, what, fourth in pressures and like rate 17 in sack rate?
My man John Jones.
Oh, come on.
Says, your kids isn't bothering you, Luke. Let's go 4 hours. Let's get it. Don't get scared. I'm be honest with you. I'm fairly surprised that they haven't bothered me. I'm like, dang, usually like daddy. I want to go do that. Okay. I think AG has been a decent DC in the talent level he was provided with so far. I think he's gotten a lot out of them. You know what I'm saying? One of the reasons I liked it, Ben Johnson, because I was like, yo, you giving this dude, like you said, Tom Kennedy and other, come on, bro. Like
all the legend and myth himself.
I think Tom Kennedy will finally rise now. Reynolds is gone. Nah, he not. No, you got too many people ahead of him. You got Antoine Green. Warrior. You got Antoine Green. They drafted 2 receivers, one of them from Illinois. Oh, no, not Illinois. What the hell is that school called?
Are you talking about from the UDFA?
UDFA. There we go.
Yeah.
The undrafted free agent, Jalen, was it Duke? No.
Something like that. I haven't really been paying attention.
Speaking of which, since we brought that up, and ironically, let me hit on that really quick too before I get up out of here. Because I brought that list of players up, and I went and watched this tape, and I was like, okay, bam. All right, let me get this up over here. Let me make that nice and big. All right, now there was a player on here that really intrigued me. Where is he at? It was a DN from Ole Miss. This guy, Isaac Nuke.
I've been seeing people talk about this kid, though.
I've watched a little bit of what he did, and I went, oh, not bad. Excuse me, not bad at all. I'm hoping that this linebacker from Ohio State, I hope he we need a linebacker for real. We need somebody. But this kid from Duke, I watched his little, he a little route runner. He didn't look fast to me on the game tape, but he a little route runner. I like what I saw out of him.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need the speed if you got the route run.
Yeah, and again, I totally get. And then they said these are the players that they invited to the rookie mini camp. So obviously, they give some people an opportunity. So yeah, but they always do that to get a little bit of a look and see what people doing and see who's gonna be here and who not. So
didn't we resign our other backup? Freaking what the heck's his name? Freaking his name. Yeah, not goddamn Bridgewater, but who's our backup? Not Hendon, but the other guy.
Nate Studfield?
Yeah, Studfield or whatever they always call him. Oh god, they did bring him back.
Well, it is what it is. John Jones said, "What's your prediction, Luke? Is the Super Bowl or bust?" I have to see our schedule and see who we play and when we play them. I told you, if we played Kansas City later in the year, that probably wouldn't get at a win. We played them week 1. I picked us to beat them to win that game. Everybody thought I was just being like emotional, but I try to take the emotions out of it and just look at the matchup. Week 1, they didn't have a lot of things that they thought. So, and Looney Tune points out, Luke is Ole Miss, not Oil Miss. Thank you, sir, for that correction. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, they love doing this to you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, what? Hey, yeah. Like, hey, y'all know I botched that, man. I will botch the name in a heartbeat. If Emmanuel Mosley,
Rams week 1.
If Emmanuel Mosley can get healthy, do you think he will start? He better not.
He probably
better
will.
Not. He better not. Listen to me. He better not. And that's a Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn decision. But he better not, because you traded up for a cornerback. So, yeah, let him play a role. But
so you're thinking it's going to be Arnold and Davis out there?
I think it's going to be Arnold and Davis with Branch in the slot, Amik playing the other slot or filling in relief, and Rackshaw filling in on the outside when they need it. They wanted youth on the outside and they got it. But yeah,
I can rock that.
If you watch a lot of Vikey tape, he really not bad. Small running back sample. Yeah, I like what I saw of him. I understood the role of him, and I didn't have a problem with the pick.
He's going to be really fun with trick plays. That's what's going to be really interesting with him.
Yep. Perry Ball says, I'm not expecting anything from Mosley. Me neither. Mosley has a good chance to start as Enos. I agree, but he better not. he better not. I agree with you, but he damn sure better not. Did someone say catch up?
I've been holding that back, man. I wasn't gonna bring that curse in here. God damn it.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? See, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one.
What you just said is one of the
doing you dirty, man. Oh my god.
The other ones. No, I don't know about no catch up, bro. We team mustard mayonnaise over here. I hate to be the grammar police, but your name botching is too funny. I appreciate it, man. Correct my ass. For real.
God forbid you ever start reading hockey names.
I don't think Arnold starts. Vets will win the job, start the season.
Yeah, but is Mosley going to be healthy by then? That's the question.
Yeah, but when he say vets, though, we got a few vets. We got Amik Roberts, we got Carlton Davis, and you got Mosley. So what vets?
Yeah, but are you going to have Robinson as your number 2 or number 1 CB? I doubt that. He's more likely going to be a slot, especially with his size.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't know if all I know is you traded up for Dog. He needs to start. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't care how.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good chance they could do that because let's be fair. Dan's done that in the past where he hasn't really started guys we wanted to start.
Of course, he didn't start Jack Campbell immediately like that. He didn't start.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. But that's a psychological thing. He wants them to feel like, oh, I earned it. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. You could do the same thing to Arnold too.
Exactly. But I'm saying, damn all that. We don't have time to play games. Play these people. We know what it is. You know what it is. Let's not be that guy. Let's take a look at the depth chart. Shout out to my man Marcus Willis. You understood the joke. Wasn't trying to be, real. I appreciate this live stream. I'm thinking of questions to keep you on. I see you a cold one for this one. Come on, Luke. Get at least 3 out of 10 names correct. Hey, that's right. My ratio is not as strong, but damn it, I'm getting better. What's more likely? Mosley starts or he ends up with a walker? I think it's more likely he's just out off the team. I do. I really do. Giovanni Lyon says, yo, I missed it. Got to do the rewatch. Appreciate it. No, man, I think they will start Robinson and Davis. No.
Not likely. Robinson, I highly doubt that.
Yeah, Robinson is a good player, but I think they want him as a slot. I mean, if we look at let's look at it like this. if we look at the depth chart right now, obviously this ESPN, they haven't released their official depth chart, but this is what they're projecting.
J-Mo got to show out this year. He really does.
But even in the projections, look, they got Brian Branch at safety. They got Brian Branch at safety, and then look, they got Arnold and Carlton Davis as the 1 and 2 corners, with Amit and Rexhaw being the slot guys. Emmanuel Mosley is a questionable. Stephen Gilmore gonna probably stay because he's cheap and ain't gonna cost nothing. And Vildor is the same thing. But yeah, I think that's what you get. I think that they're gonna actually make Branch and Amit your slot with Davis and Terrion as your 1 and your 2. And I think that your safeties are going to be Iffy and Kirby. Enos is going to fill in for the outside roles, even though he can play inside too. And that's what I think they're going to do. Now, when we look at the linebacker room, because, I had somebody tell me the linebacker room that teams would die for our linebacker room. I don't know how.
And maybe some desperate teams. It's an okay
linebacker.
Yeah, one thing that's driving me crazy is seeing James Houston as slot linebacker. Like, why? Why is this? This shouldn't be a thing. He should be in the edges. This is stupid. Am I wrong?
John Johnson, I think the Lions want Hooker to play. That's why Goff hasn't been paid yet. I think that too.
Yeah.
I think they are literally trying to see what they got out of Hooker in preseason. If all Hooker got to do is go nuts in the preseason. Because if he go nuts in the preseason and he looks miles ahead of the competition, they're going to say, yeah, we got a guy here. Unfortunately, we can probably give Goff a 2-year deal. We can give him a 4-year deal, which is really a 2-year deal, and we could probably move him out. And then we, see what happens. It depends on how it go. But, yeah, I think they want to see what they got of him as well. And then we got Hamden, who said, I think we're going to mix both cornerbacks in and out to get them comfortable. I agree.
I could see that.
Donkey Kong says, book it now. Robinson, Davidson, and Brent start the season. Book it. All right.
Okay.
I argue with you. All right. And then last is Boom, who says, Amit could start. Did you see him play at Oakland? I saw him play at college. I wanted him when he came out of college. I was clamoring for him when he came out of college. So, yeah, I watched him.
I think he's here. I like him.
I like him a lot. All right. We've been on for 2 hours and 16 minutes, good people. I plan to be live tomorrow, and then hopefully again on Monday. I'm just playing around with the different times to see what works best for people. And so, but again, this is right now up until my son is born in July. And then once my son is born, I'm gonna have to kind of shift things up a little bit, but I'm gonna be busy in there, getting it done.
Congratulations, Luke.
Appreciate that. I really do. So let me see. He said tomorrow is on. Yeah, and tomorrow showtime will probably be the same as it was today, 5:00. You know what I'm saying? But I always make sure, turn your notification on, because I always post a video with more than enough time for you to get the notification. So, and like I said, it's just one of them things where, I always do that. And again, I got much more to talk about because, like I said, the city really did show up and show out, man. And I was so excited for what I saw from them. So,
dude, you guys blew it out the water.
Yeah, it was amazing, man, to see it. It really was.
I mean, you didn't just break the record; you shattered it in a million pieces. Like, oh my god.
So again, it's one of the things where I like to just keep it all subjective when it comes to looking at certain things, but you got to be objective when evaluating the players and for doing the things where you can you're trying to get a good beat on them. Appreciate you, Handle, for the congratulations and stuff. It says thanks for doing a Saturday show. Even though we definitely don't see eye to eye, that's okay. That's the whole benefit of it, and that's why I put the link in there so you can come in and tell me I'm full of crap. I'm not. There's no such thing as having a view that can't be challenged. The same way you can challenge my views, why I'm sitting there saying, look, I'm critiquing Brad Holmes. And so this is good. This is a healthy thing. All right. That's all it is. Another
You
child?
reading this
Damn,
crap?
Steven
Oh
is
my God. Jesus, John. Oh, Jesus Christ, John.
Luke, you can repopulate. I only got 3, bro. Like what? That's cold. I only got 3 though. Y'all out here, these streets.
One of them's probably going to make the NFL as a linebacker. I'm certain.
He got me out here like I'm just dropping kids off. Like, hey, he go a few kids here or a kid there. I ain't doing all that. I'm just.
Oh, mother God.
All right, man. All right, you know how we do it, man. Get the people your final thoughts, Crimson, and we'll get into this thing.
Well, all I could say is with this, I pray to God Manu pays out and just shuts me out. And like I said, yeah, Brad's done good, but if you think I'm not going to criticize him, man, you better win me a Super Bowl before you are net from criticizing. I'll tell you that for free.
100%. 100%. Listen, thank y'all for rocking with me, having fun with me, indulging me, joining us, spending your time with me. To the ones who came and went. Appreciate it. Shout out to Detroit's own Big Will, who came in and had fun with me. Shout out to the bad guy, John Capper, for coming in and have fun to me. D-Map Zooms, who I saw was in the chat there, and everybody else who popped up for me. John Jones, who kept coming up with 100 questions. He's like, I'm going to get him to that 4-hour mark. He was pushing for it. But you know, this is what is therapeutic for me. This is what I love doing, talking sports and talking about our Lions. And you know what I'm saying? You having baby like we're in the Jim Crow era.
Damn.
It's only 3.
Damn.
Man, we shall overcome.
Mother.
All right,
Nice
listen.
God.
Let me give my positive word. John Jones and this buddy you in rare form today. All right. Today's positive quote comes from the internet. I do not know who said this, but it's so true. He says, whatever you mismanage, you will lose. It's very simple. It's not a whole lot to go into. It's just simply whatever you mismanage, you will lose. Mismanage your money, you will lose. Mismanage your children, you will lose them. Mismanage your house, you will lose it. Mismanage the car, you will lose it. Mismanage your job, you will lose it. Mismanage your health, you will lose it. Mismanage your girlfriend, your wife, or anything like that, you will lose it. And so what we learn from this quote is very valuable. Please be mindful how you manage the things that you want to keep, because the things you want to keep needs to have a sense of purpose and a sense of intent when you are trying to keep it. See, some of us spend too much time worrying about not losing them, but not looking at what we're doing and our mismanaging skills to keep the things that we want. Some of us be acting like we can just go out and spend money on anything, only to find out that our money is a little bit funny and it's short. And we mismanaged our time in the first place, and therefore we wasn't able to come up the way we were supposed to. I'm asking you not to mismanage any more things in your life, but to simply take the time to sit down and plan ahead. Get ahead of these issues and manage it to a level to where you cannot lose it. I'm tired of watching people lose out on opportunities because they mismanage their emotions and allow fear to block them from going anywhere. I'm tired of watching people who keep on mismanaging their dreams because they allow fear to tell them that, hey, you can't do it. I'm tired of people mismanaging their hope because for some reason they got close enough to the object that they wanted and only discovered that, hey, this wasn't as hard as I thought, but now I got to do more. Sometimes the mismanaging is simply a result of what you feel in your heart. I'm asking you to be a little bit better and manage it so much better so that this way you don't have to lose it. You can sit back and watch the fruits of your labor. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And if you don't do nothing else at all, please do your research. We are out.